Welcome back to my views and news. Another video with new stories from Ethiopia and Sudan. Firstly, viewers, Fano has a new representative for diplomatic work in Europe. We know that when Skandar Naga formed Amhara Popular Front, he named David Georges as foreign relations in charge of APF's work. David is based in the US. So it's difficult for him to reach Europe. He wants continuous presence of some Fano representatives in Europe for diplomatic work. That is why he has held some meetings in Germany where a scholar has joined him who will work for APF for diplomatic work. Secondly, viewers, today, farmers continued their protests in the Amhara region. A protest was seen in Ago Avi zone and Debre Morkos. Thirdly, social media restrictions have been lifted in Ethiopia. Question is that these restrictions remained in place for around 6 months. How much damage was suffered by Ethiopia in the last 6 months due to suspension of social media restrictions? Fourthly, PM Abiy today delivered a speech. He shared numbers, how many saplings were planted in 24 hours. Target was 500 million. It seems that according to the Prime Minister, Ethiopia easily achieved the target. Lastly, we have Sudan. Hemedti spoke a few minutes ago. Hamdan Dagalo released an audio message. It seems that Hamdan Dagalo believes that RSF is heading towards victory. His tone has changed, it seems, and today RSF confirmed an attack on a military base, an Air Force base, which is a red line for Egypt. I remembered a video in the past about Egyptian position on this war. Egypt reportedly in talks with some international parties said that 3 bases were red lines for Egypt. If 3 bases fell, Egypt would be forced to intervene in Sudan. And today RSF fighters attacked one of these 3 bases, and in Nayala, South Darfur, around 50 Sudanese army officers and officials have joined rapid support forces. Firstly, Skandar Naga is head of newly formed Amhara Popular Front, APF. Former politician Skandar Naga, now he is head of an armed group. And when Skandar Naga formed APF more than 2 months ago, he nominated David Georges, a former military officer of Dergs, as the foreign affairs in charge of APF. David is based in the US. And then we saw that David became active and he started fundraising campaign along with Ethio 360 journalists. He succeeded in raising around 400,000 US dollars in just 2 hours a few days ago. And then David went to Israel. He was seen with Israeli foreign minister, I think 3 to 4 days ago. And today he was seen in Germany. In Germany, it seems he has found someone who can work on behalf of APF in Europe, especially in Germany. Because he was looking for someone who could be APF's representative, APF's foreign relations in charge for Europe. That is why he was visiting different countries. And in Germany, he met with Asfao Asrat Kasa, an Ethiopian scholar who has agreed to work, agreed to do diplomatic work for Amhara Popular Front. It means that in Germany, in other parts of Europe, it seems that Asfao Asrat Kasa will represent APF. He'll be holding meetings with diplomats on behalf of APF. While in Canada and the US, obviously David is there. Fano expanding. Fano's external affairs wing expanding. David is very active. We have seen that. David is busy collecting funds. He is involved in some lobbying as well. He has been holding some meetings with foreign diplomats. A narrative is being built by David that Amhara people are in danger. Their survival is in danger. So what is happening in Amhara is a fight for survival, not an insurgency. Secondly, viewers, protests by farmers continuing in the Amhara region of Ethiopia. We've seen several marches by protests by farmers in the Amhara region. They have been protesting due to lack of fertilizers. They say there is a shortage of fertilizers, high prices of fertilizers, and farmers are unable to farm their land. We've seen several protests so far. Protests in Bahirdar, where farmers surrounded Office of Agricultural Department of the Amhara regional government. And on Monday, protests were held in two cities. Firstly, in Njibara, which is in Ago Avi zone. Some Ago farmers protested. Agos or Amharas, I don't know, but farmers protested in Njibara, Ago Avi zone. I have a clip for you. Secondly, in Debre Borgos, Gujum, two farmers took the streets complaining that fertilizers were not available. These farmers are in a very difficult position because if they don't have fertilizer seeds to farm their lands, it means they won't have anything to survive on in the next 6 months or so. That is why they are protesting. Government acknowledges that there is lack of fertilizers. But why is that there are protests only in Amhara, not in Oromia? Oromia is a much bigger regional state. It means that in Oromia, sufficient fertilizer is available. But in Amhara, there is lack of fertilizer, or protests are not being allowed. But we have seen protests in Oromia on other issues, like against the creation of new zones. We saw protests in southern Oromia. So it seems there is no dire shortage of fertilizers in Oromia. But there is shortage of fertilizers in Amhara. And in Amhara, this lack of fertilizer this issue is being used by Fano fighters too. They are mobilizing farmers to join them. They are trying to use these farmers to put pressure upon the regional government. Watch a video from Njibara, Ago Avi zone, where farmers can be seen protesting there. Thirdly, viewers, social media restrictions have been lifted in Ethiopia. It was around 6 months ago. I think it was in February when Ethiopia banned social media apps and sites like Telegram, YouTube, Facebook, etc. were banned. Since then, people have been using a VPN to gain access to social media sites. Why did Ethiopia ban social media services in February? I think in February, Orthodox Church had issued nationwide protest call. People were being mobilized to be ready for an anti-government protest. Government felt endangered, that its survival could be in danger. Though the issue was resolved, PM Abiy mediated between the church and a faction in Oromia, from Oromia. Issue was resolved, but restrictions remained put in place. And PM Abiy, at some appearances, said that social media platforms were being used to spread fake information, false information. He criticized some news outlets without naming them. So that is why restrictions remain put in place. But today, Ethiopia at last lifted restrictions. Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia a few days ago issued a statement saying that it was a violation of fundamental rights that people did not have access to social media sites. Question is, did Ethiopian economy suffer any loss from this restriction on social media services? Yes, around 144 million US dollars is the loss suffered by Ethiopian economy. At last, the restrictions have been lifted. While I condemn what Ethiopian government did, it shouldn't have banned social media sites. At the same time, I would say that those who are on social media, activists, journalists, YouTube channel owners, creators, they should be responsible too. They cross red lines, they become tools of spreading hate. They should be careful. At the same time, government should ensure freedom of press, freedom of speech, so that people have right to information, right to access to information. Fourthly, viewers, PM Abiy today confirmed that Ethiopia achieved a target. I think today Ethiopia set a world record. If it is confirmed, will Guinness Book of World Records confirm this record or not? That we'll see. PM Abiy had announced to plant 500 million saplings in one day. And today he claimed that Ethiopians today planted 566 million, around 566 million saplings in one day. So target was 500 million saplings, and people planted 566 million saplings. So let's see, will the Guinness Book of World Records confirm this claim by the Prime Minister or not? Overall, a good development that people are planting saplings due to climate change related disasters. Ethiopia is in need of such campaigns. Lastly, viewers, Sudan, where Hemedti Hamdan Dagalo just a few minutes ago released an audio message. I have this entire message for you. Before that, how to see this message? What does Hemedti mean? Hemedti seems to be saying that he is ready, that he wants to continue with military option. He believes he is close to victory, I think. He said, victory or martyrdom. He criticized the Sudanese military. He said, only solution is complete removal of Sudanese military, Islamists, etc. New system, new military, new democratic Sudan. No signs of showing any commitment to dialogue. If you analyze, if you compare Hemedti's past statements and this statement, this video message, it's very clear that in the past he was very vocal in support of start of dialogue, resumption of dialogue, and continuation of dialogue. But today his focus was on military solution. Why? I've been saying, I've been briefing you regularly that rapid support forces have military leverage. They have been expanding areas under their control. They believe they are on the winning path. That is why Hemedti is asking all Sudanese people to support rapid support forces. And today rapid support was carried out an attack on an airbase, which is a red line for Egyptian government. Egypt a few days ago in some talks with international players said that 3 bases were red lines for Egypt. And if these 3 bases fell to rapid support forces, Egypt would be forced to intervene in Sudan to support Sudanese army. One of the 3 bases is Wad Sayyidina Air Force Base. Today, rapid support force fighters managed to reach Wad Sayyidina Air Force Base. They carried out an attack there. RSF claims it destroyed 2 MiG fighter jets and 1 Antonov transport plane at the Wad Sayyidina Air Force Base. It seems that rapid support force members carried out attack, they damaged aircrafts and then they fled, it seems. Wad Sayyidina base is not fully under RSF control, but RSF, I have been updating you, they have been trying to reach and capture Wad Sayyidina base. So, Wad Sayyidina is to the north of Halfay al-Maluk. Gradually, the war is now heading towards Egyptian border, though still far away from Egyptian border, but direction is in the north. So Egypt would be definitely concerned now. Sudanese military gradually losing ground. Engineering corps is also under pressure. Engineering corps, then Muhandisin military base, and this one, Signal Corps, and the 4th one was Sayyidina. These are very strategic sites, still under the control of Sudanese army, but Sudanese military is gradually losing ground around these bases. So we could see RSF strike some decisive blows to Sudanese military in Bahri, Umdurman, Khartoum in coming days. In Darfur, they are sweeping, gradually sweeping West Darfur under their control. In South and North Darfur, especially in South Darfur, they are expanding their presence. In Yala, South Darfur, around 50 Sudanese army officers joined rapid support forces from 16th Division of Infantry. These officers are led by a Major Guma Abdullah. They joined rapid support forces yesterday. So you see that in Darfur, CRP joined them. In Central Darfur, 2 days ago, around 200 members of Central Reserve Police joined rapid support forces. And in Yala, around 24 hours ago, Sudanese armed forces members joined rapid support forces. In Darfur, they are spreading their territories that is under their control. In Kordofan, they are there. There is SPLA2. In Bari, Khartoum, Umdurman, they are consolidating their gains. 2 clips for you. First one shows the Sudanese military officers who joined RSF in Nayala. Second one is message from the RSF commander Hamdan Dagal. Thank you for watching.
العالمين صلى وسلم سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اليوم أسعد الأيام. اليوم نفخر به فخر شديد بأبنائنا من الفرقة 16 مشاة على راسهم الراية جمع عبد الله محمد وعديل الأشاوس أن معاهم رافقهم.
أما بعد، سعادة اللواء أحمد بركات
لقبول خيار الحل السياسي الشامل لمعالجة جذور الأزمة السودانية التاريخية، فالحرب ليست غاية وقد خضناها مكرهين. إن سواعد الأشاوس التي تمسك البندقية قادرة على حمل أغصان الزيتون إذا تحمل الشرفاء في القوات المسلحة المسؤولية وانحازوا لخيار الشعب. فالمهم عندنا الانتصار لإرادة شعبنا لثورته المجيدة وليس لحظوظ النفس. إننا نعيد التأكيد وبالصوت العالي إنه لا مكان للنظام البائد والفلول بيننا. بعد اليوم لن نسمح لهم باستيلاء على السلطة من جديد لمواصلة إذلال شعبنا وظلمه واضطهاده وسرقة موارده وتدميرها. سنواجه مخططات المتاجرين باسم الدين، فلا مستقبل لهذا الوطن إلا باجتثاث فلول النظام البائد من كافة أوجه الحياة، وفي مقدمة القوات المسلحة التي يجب أن تكون نظيفة تنصرف لواجباتها بعيدا عن سيطرة شلة الأيديولوجيا. إننا باسم شعبنا علينا احتذار واجب لجميع المؤسسات الإقليمية والدولية والدول الشقيقة والصديقة التي تعرضت للإساءة من مجموعات الكيدان والفلول الذين سيطروا على مقاليد العمل الدبلوماسي بالبلاد. لن نعود مجددا لعهود التطرف والإرهاب والعداء مع محيطنا الإقليمي والدولي التي جعلت بلادنا في عزلة بسبب الحصار الدبلوماسي والاقتصادي. رسالتنا لشعبنا الكريم وللقوى السياسية والمجتمعية وحركات الكفاح المسلح والشباب والشابات أن النصر غريب، وأن بلادكم تنتظركم جميعا من أجل إعادة بنائها على أسس جديدة. إلى الأشاوس والأبطال نقول لكم أن تقوموا بواجبكم المقدس. إن تنصروا الله ينصركم ويثبت أقدامكم. لقد حققتم الكثير ولم